The White House has announced new visa rules to stop what is known as birth tourism. The new guidelines state the United States can deny tourist visas to pregnant women if consular officers determine that the applicant is traveling to give birth in America in order to secure the child U.S. citizenship. VOA's Adita Dunelari has the details.
Back in 2018, VOA talked to Nalia Valieva, whose Florida-based company, Happy Baby, arranged trips to the United States for expectant mothers, helping them find U.S. doctors and accommodations in exchange for thousands of dollars.
It's not illegal to come to Miami to have a baby. Many people agree the U.S. healthcare is one of the best in the world. The climate is fantastic, mothers have everything they need, and things are fairly easy.
But the Trump administration wants to put an end to so-called birth tourism, announcing Thursday that U.S. travel for the primary purpose of obtaining U.S. citizenship for a child by giving birth is an unacceptable reason for obtaining a visa. The State Department says the new measure is intended to protect American citizenship from exploitation. Immigration analyst Sarah Pierce says that she sees no positive impact from the new policy, noting existing practices already give U.S. consular officers the authority to deny tourist visas for a number of issues, including suspicion of so-called birth tourism.
It really just puts extra pressure on officers to make sure that women are not coming to the United States for the purpose of birth tourism. But all of this, the power and the rules, they really existed to begin with.
Back in 2018, this Russian native said it was simply easier to have her baby in the United States.
Pregnancy is viewed as a disease in Russia. You have to go see the doctor all the time, have a million tests. Here in the U.S., it's easy. You get a sonogram, hear the baby's heartbeat, you're free to go until the next appointment.
The Trump administration's crackdown on birth tourism is not necessarily new. Last December, a Chinese woman was convicted of visa fraud in the U.S. for operating a scheme that helped Chinese women obtain U.S. tourist visas to give birth and secure American citizenship for their newborn babies.
This policy has even created an entire industry of birth tourism, big business.
President Trump campaigned on tightening anti-immigration policies, and he may be betting that targeting birth tourism could be a political winner at the polls in November. Adita Dunelari, VOA News, Washington.
For more on birth tourism, I'm joined in the studio by Johanna Leblanc. She is a national security and foreign affairs legal professional. Johanna, welcome back to Africa 54.
Thank you for having me. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Now, any surprises here that the U.S. has finally closed this loophole of people who come here just to give birth so their kids can become U.S. citizens?
I think looking at this matter from a purely objective perspective, well, first and foremost, let's talk about the Constitution. The Constitution makes it such that anybody who is born on American soil is considered to be a United States citizen unless you're a child of a diplomat, right? However, there are people, in my personal opinion, who have abused the system, who have come here and have children. And when you have a child who is a U.S. citizen, that child enjoys so many benefits like health care, access to education, and so many other services. So again, looking at this matter purely from an objective perspective, it is problematic. And the Center for Migration Study estimates that it costs taxpayers roughly $2.4 billion annually in terms of making sure like children who are beneficiaries of birthright citizenship could have access to life, liberty, and happiness.
Taxpayers pay for this. People come here, some of them knowing we only are going for this one reason. So do we know if the U.S. is now going to take legal action, investigate further to find out if there are any people who came here and gave birth so their kids could be citizens and maybe some legal action taken?
Well, the Constitution, how it is, would require an amendment from Congress, which I don't think this is going to happen right now. But the president has recently announced that consulars at various embassies throughout the United States will ascertain when women are applying for visas whether or not they are pregnant. And if they believe that this woman may be entering the United States as a pregnant woman, there's a likelihood that your visa application could be denied. And as a sovereign state, I think this issue is in the national interest of the United States of America to ensure that America is only utilizing its resources for people who are genuinely U.S., not necessarily U.S. citizens, but green card holders, and who are genuinely living in the United States. Not a matter of coming to the U.S., have your baby, and leave, go to your country, and when it's time for that child to attend college, you send that child to the United States.
A big moral question there, but let's turn to Liberia, where now immigrants from Liberia can now become American citizens after living in America for decades in limbo. But who is eligible to become a U.S. citizen here?
So this was one of the greatest gifts to Liberians living in America. We have roughly 4,000 Liberians who were DED recipients. That was their status because of conflict in their countries. They came to the United States. So under this law, technically everyone who has DED status could now apply for permanent residency and ultimately citizenship. However, one thing that I think Liberians who have the status should be cautioned about is that if you have a criminal record, like a felony, or you've committed crimes that are considered to be crimes of moral turpitude, you could be denied to adjust your status to green card. And one of the problems with that is such, oftentimes immigrants are not in the position to hire private attorneys. They're often left with public defenders or people who may not be well equipped to handle their matters, or people who don't understand the implication that a criminal conviction could have on their immigration case. So, I would recommend that if you are a Liberian who have DD status and you also have a criminal record, to consult with an attorney to see what your options are.
Joanne, thank you very much. We're running out of time. Great topic. Thank you very much. All right. Johanna Leblanc is a national security and foreign affairs legal professional. We'll be right back.